Welcome, everybody, to the Streakers On Podcast Live Edition. And we have the usual suspects here on the panel tonight. Mr. Lane Dashing Dashco, Mr. More for Your Money,
Woo!
And I, the self-proclaimed sports analyst. I do want to set a quick apology. Apparently, there were some comments that were not coming through for some reason through StreamYard, so I do apologize for that on our pregame show.
Blame me. I was in my car. Probably.
But hopefully those comments work, and if not, I will be trying to check on my multiple 80,000 screens. This was a game that I think we just saw what a fourth-string quarterback with zero experience. Yes, Dan, I see your comment.
Well, at least it works.
Yours worked last time.
Bunny swing.
Great. Okay, so now let's get back to reality. Oh, the goal's gravity. Choke the goal's rabbity. I thought James Morgan looked really good in the first quarter. And to be honest, I thought it kind of ended after that. I thought he struggled. 18 for 33, 198, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. Like,
pretty bad.
You know what? It's tough for me when Brady Oliveira gets more yards than the other team's starting quarterback. Brady Oliveira finished at 210. I've been saying for a while, I'm waiting for a game to Brady Oliveira to just take over, and this was certainly the game.
Well,
now, the $1 million question is, and I don't have $1 million, so only charge you $1.95. If you actually, this is already time for the best game show on the island, gas or ass. The Montreal Alouettes absolutely have to start a different quarterback in their next game. Gas or ass?
Gas.
More for you're the one going on that Captain Morgan deserved the start, even though you had two other quarterbacks in your lineup that have played in the CFL.
I was wrong. He was ass. I mean, he had a couple highlight moments, but he gave up 2 interceptions, which I get the one wasn't really his fault, but it's like, I don't know, you can't leave Cameron Dukes on the bench, who was 3-2 quarterback, and Patterson, he's done, I don't know, pretty much nothing, but anyway, he's done more.
Shea Patterson actually played in 6 games for the Riders, and okay, I think he only went 2-6, but his numbers outside of the record, he threw 1,600 yards, 1,655, 6 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. He was averaging around that 275 yards a game.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Wasn't terrible. But Lane, I'm curious here, like before we jumped on, you seemed visibly frustrated about this game. So what's got you feeling blue?
First of all, I'm surprised I'm this mad, because usually I'm this mad about the Leafs, so I'm really mad tonight.
It's not even Tycast Bay. Why are you so mad?
Oh, I'm going to get to it.
Oh, okay.
I want to talk to the fans of the Montreal Alouettes fan base.
Oh,
personally, I'm sorry. I am sorry that your team decided to throw a game and not care that you went to the stadium and paid your money to watch your team. I'm sorry that you had to sit down in front of the TV and watch that pathetic excuse of a football game. You know, we talk about ratings. We talk about people, the CFL losing viewership, and this is what's going to kill it. People putting a quarterback who's a 4th-string that can't hang in the league. You didn't play your best quarterback. You completely threw the game. It's unexcusable. It's unacceptable. You basically should have just showed up and said, stay home, fans. We're going to forfeit the game and give it to Winnipeg because that was unacceptable. It's unacceptable in hockey. It's unacceptable in baseball when they don't play their starters. But the CFL needs viewership. The CFL needs the people to watch. We need the viewership higher. And with things like this, it's going to kill the league. You're worried about getting back to your low viewership and low tweets and low engagement. It's going to be things like this at a home barn when you roll out a 4th-string quarterback against a team that could be going to the Grey Cup instead of playing Cameron Dukes, who was your best starter. You basically said, I don't want to win. I don't care. And all it's not an excuse to all the fans that went to that game. I'm mad.
Wow.
Lane, I'm actually on your side here. I think starting James Morgan basically meant you didn't feel you were going to win this game. I didn't understand it when you now had Cameron Dukes there for 2 weeks. So you have enough time for him to learn the playbook. Because the argument was, well, James Morgan's been there longer. But you have such a minimal playbook with him anyways, because that was his first CFL start. Like, I'm sorry. It was a bad decision. And I'm also going to say it was a bad decision to go away from the running game when early on it was actually working.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Carries at 36 yards, averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Stevie Scott, the third, three carries, 18 yards, average of 6 per carry. And then they just went away from it completely.
Why?
So let's get back into the comments. Winnipeg won the most catastrophic way possible tonight. I do agree. I thought Winnipeg played very smart. They just basically said, we know Montreal does not have an offense tonight. So we're going to go out there and play very, very, very simple football. But I'm curious, Morpho and I were arguing about this. So Lane and viewers, do you remember the throw towards the end of the second quarter, Caleros to Stearns, and what took Stearns out of the game?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was an absolutely terrible decision by Caleros to make that throw. It's a suicide pass. Number 1, you're lucky it wasn't intercepted. Number 2, you're already in field goal range. Number 3, you're putting your receiver in a position to get injured. You have to put out Chris Strevler in your receiving core for bleep sakes. And now, on top of it, they don't line up in time, have to blow a timeout, and still just kick a damn field goal. If you were going to do all that, at least call a timeout right away or get right to the line, run the play quick so you have a chance for a touchdown. To do all that and then just blow, 9 out of the 11 seconds that are left and then just not even try to put up a touchdown, I thought that was going to bite them in the ass. It didn't, because Montreal couldn't run offense to save their life. I feel for a guy like Alexander Holland who put up 132 yards on 5 receptions. Yeah, even a few that were missed by him just because the throws were so inaccurate. Like, James Morgan cannot be your starter in the next game. Montreal gets the
no way.
Davis Alexander, we're hearing, is out until he will be back in September. But I'm hearing back in September. That doesn't make me think early September.
Well, wake him up when September ends.
Wake him up
when the September ends.
But right now, if you're Montreal, you got 2 weeks to make a decision in quarterback.
What decision there be made? My decision's already made up. I'm putting in Cameron Dukes.
No, hold on. Wait a minute.
No thinking.
There is thinking.
No.
You need to put out all 3 quarterbacks. Whoever does the best in practice gets the start.
No.
Yes.
I disagree.
Captain Morgan had his chance and he blew it.
Yeah, but Dan, you have Shea Patterson as well. I think you got to.
Yeah, so get up to Patterson and Dukes.
Your next team's Hamilton. And Hamilton's been a team, they struggled to start, then they won 6. Now they're struggling a bit again, in my opinion. But I mean, you're looking at Montreal here. With decent quarterback play, you're probably leading the East. I thought their defense looked great tonight. They really did a good job at limiting Winnipeg's offense. I think by the end of the game, they were just completely gassed. I think they were just exhausted. Yeah. And you have to look at that. If they have an offense that can just stay on the field a little bit longer, you got to remember, going into halftime, this game was 16-10.
Yeah.
Right? Like they still only allowed another 10 points, and that was all in the fourth quarter where I think the defense was just tired. Yeah. If Montreal just had a little bit more life in the offense, this is a very winnable game for them. And that's why, again, I would have started Cameron Dukes. You have a limited playbook either way. Put out a guy that can also is mobile. Yeah, James Morgan has a stronger arm. And everyone goes on, whoa, he was in NFL training camps, blah, blah, blah. To be honest with you, I give zero.
So is Aaron Rodgers.
I do not care whatsoever about NFL experience in the CFL. They're two completely different games. If everyone says CFL quarterbacks don't get a chance because it's a completely different game in the NFL, then you got to say the same when it's reversed.
What I don't understand is at some point in the third quarter, Captain Morgan was only 12 and 25. If he was really struggling, why not put Cameron Dukes in then? I understand giving Captain Morgan the start. He deserved it. Fine. But then put Cameron Dukes back in.
Dan, at that point, though, Dan, the game was too close to switch quarterbacks with a team that's game planned for that quarterback.
I guess so, yeah.
Morgan didn't. The problem was with James Morgan, he didn't play good enough to win, didn't play bad enough to get pulled, if that makes any sense.
It does, 100%.
Like,
I can't start him again next
week. If
you're
Montreal, you absolutely have to figure out something else in that position. And now if you're Winnipeg, this is going to sound absolutely crazy. There is a path for Winnipeg to take over first in the West.
Oh, 100%.
Jacob disagrees with me, but I think this game for Winnipeg was a statement game. No. This is the first game we saw.
What are you talking about?
I know. It was the first game we saw that Winnipeg was back. They doubled their team in points. Oliveira had 200 yards. Zach Guerrero's had 300 yards. Willie Justerson was blocking balls down. This is Winnipeg's back.
Dan, Winnipeg played decent. I agree. However, Winnipeg against any team with a serviceable offense probably would have lost this game.
They literally.
But Winnipeg does have a path now. Only 4 points behind the Riders. They play the Riders for the Labor Day Classic and the Banjo Bowl back to back. If Calgary beats them, there is a path for Winnipeg to get home field for the entire playoffs. And if they can do that, all of a sudden Winnipeg is a heavy favorite for Grey Cup contention again, because it's so hard to play in Winnipeg.
I have a gas to ass
here.
Oh,
what did you say? Did you call for the bumper?
Yeah,
he did.
All right, Mr. Morford, what's your gas or ask, good buddy?
If Winnipeg finds a way to make the Grey Cup, and not just make the Grey Cup, win the Grey Cup at home, avoid diversity this year, thus means they have won 3 Grey Cups in 6 appearances, are they now finally a dynasty if they do that?
Gas.
No.
Yeah, gas. I'd say gas. 3 and 6 in the modern era, I think so.
What do you say, Mr. Dasco?
Saying that.
Oh, interesting.
How come, Dashko?
It's just too many in between. Like, you're basically 50%. And you're in a league that has limited teams, right? So your chances of winning should actually be better. And you've been to 6 in a row, and you've only won 3 of them. I don't think you're a dynasty. I think you're a really good team. But a dynasty is either 3 in a row or 3 in 4 years. There's no if. There's no ends.
What about your 4 and 7? Would that be a dynasty?
Hold on. Wait a minute. Then we put a little NFL in it. We talk Buffalo Bills, and people talk about that team as a dynasty. Went to the Super Bowl either 5 or 6 straight years and didn't win any of them. I think if Winnipeg can find a way to win 3 and 6 and make it 6 straight years, I almost felt right now. I think this team, I would call it a dominant period, not a dynasty. I think if you find a way to win the Grey Cup this year, by the way, I don't think they will, but if you do, then I think then people are out to lunch if they feel they are.
You figure out 6 years is over half a decade, and in any league, they kind of measure in decades.
Right,
you look at
teams.
There's
doesn't
9.
matter if it's only 2 teams. If those is winning, you're the best in that league.
50%. 50% is not good.
Lane, I disagree with you, though.
If you go to college, when Dan goes to college and he gets 50% on his test, the teacher's going to be like, you should probably leave the class. They're not going to be
okay, I get that, but if you're winning 50%, if you're winning 50% out of the whole college, that's pretty good. You're getting 50% out of one test. Yeah, that's bad. If you're doing it out of the whole college, right? And Winnipeg's doing it out of the whole league.
But Dan, what I'm getting at more for Winnipeg is they have been the standard of the league for the last 6 years.
Yes.
And I think when you look at dynasties, it's not just winning championships. It's are you the standard every year? And right now they are. If they have to win this Grey Cup for me to be considered, for me to feel like this team's a dynasty. And truthfully, I think this is the last year that this team's probably gonna, because I think Zach Collaros is towards the end of his career, not the beginning. Brady Oliveira, Nick Dembski, they're getting older. Stanley Bryant's getting older. Willie Jefferson's getting older. You're running out of time for this team to get it done to a dynasty level. Now, mind you, I also see Lane's point. I understand the argument that he's saying, dynasties are teams that win. But then I think to the Buffalo Bills, everyone goes on that they were a dynasty, even though they didn't get it done. And you could say, well, there's more teams in the NFL, but I would argue in the NFL, I would say at least half the teams are not competitive.
Right. Yeah.
Like in the CFL, you do see the worst team in the league beat the best team in the league. In the NFL, you see that in preseason and it ends there. Yeah. Like, I do think there is a bigger skill gap between the best teams and the worst teams. Same in the NBA, where the NHL is more like the CFL, where you will see a bottom seed. When was the last time in the NFL a bottom seed found a way to win a Super Bowl? I don't even know if it's even been in my lifetime.
Well, I just want to say I looked it up on Google. I'll admit maybe I'm wrong because Google does consider it a dynasty. I'll admit maybe I'm wrong on this one.
Well, all I know is, Lane, you are not wrong about how beautiful you are.
But, do you guys see what I'm saying about tonight? Like, look how many people picked Winnipeg to win this game. They didn't only really pick them to create interesting TV. I think deep down.
Dan's being called out.
I think deep down in Dan's heart, he knew Winnipeg was going to win this game. Am I right or wrong, Dan?
What?
I said I think you just picked Montreal for make interesting TV tonight. I think deep down you.
No, I didn't. To be honest, the reason why I picked Montreal was I thought Captain Morgan was put in a stressful situation in his first game last week, and I think he played well enough to deserve the start. I honestly thought Montreal was going to use the running game more tonight, and I thought if it was more of a running game, the home field advantage would help. Also, I thought with being in Montreal, having a very loud crowd, because Winnipeg has the loudest crowd in the arena, but they don't necessarily used to having the loudest crowd against them. And I also think Montreal's defense is arguably the best in the league. You look at Son Oakland. I wish the Argos kept him. You look at Lemon. Very controversial. Like him or lump him. He's been playing some good football. Been back. I don't agree with his off-play celebrations. I don't know why he would pee as a dog, but anyway, he's been well. And you look at the big-time receivers, right? I thought the big-time receivers would have got Captain Morgan kind of out of his struggles. So I thought there was a chance. So when no one else picked Winnipeg with Montreal, I thought, I'll throw a dart on the board and pick Montreal, right?
But I will say for Winnipeg, they got to be feeling good with the way Brady Oliveira. If you talk about a statement, I don't know if Winnipeg this whole game was a statement for them, but this was a statement game for the reigning MOP and Brady Oliveira. I just want to read you his stat lines here, okay? 16 carries, 137 yards, a touchdown, averaging 8.6 yards per carry, longest run of 28 yards. He was also the leading receiver, 9 targets, 9 catches, 73 yards, averaging 8.1 yards per reception. Brady Oliveira just put a statement back for everyone, including myself, saying he's not the best running back in the league anymore, that he can take over a game. He took over this game. When they knew, Winnipeg knew if they could control the time of possession and not give Montreal's offense a lot of chances to do much, because I felt Morgan just couldn't get into a groove.
Yeah.
They knew they had this game in the bag. Now for Winnipeg, looking long term, you don't know about the health of Nick Dembski. You don't know the health about Stearns. Cramdy went out with an injury in this game. You had a lot of injuries. Chris Strevler was playing wide receiver and having to block. Like, is Winnipeg is talk about injury problems, but they found a way to win this one. I just don't know if this team with this many injuries can take down a team like Saskatchewan. They're gonna have to look. They're gonna have to look and see what wide receivers are available.
That's what I was just going to say.
Maybe you are making I don't know if you're making a trade at this point, but I don't know who you have in your system. I thought they could have used Peyton Logan a little bit more in this game to try to put some relief. But Lane, I see you have a trivia question.
Yes, I do. How many dynasties are in the CFL? Does anyone have a guess?
Well, I would guess. Yeah, I would.
Well, there was
the
Eskimos had one. Argos had one.
Yeah, I was going to say Argos and Eskimos. And then I would say Winnipeg debatably now. So 3?
I'm going to guess 4.
There's been 6 in all of CFL. Was the University of Toronto Varsity Blues from 1909 to 1911 with 3 championships. Queen's University from 1920 to 1922 with 3 championships. The Argos, which were from 1945 to 1952, 5 championships over 8 years. Wow. The Eskimos twice from 1954 to 1956 with 3 in a row. And then from 1975 to 1982 with 6 over 8 years, including a streak of 5 consecutive championships. And the last one was the Winnipeg Blue Bombers from 1958 to 1962, 4 championships over 5 years.
Wow.
So there you go.
Huh.
It's very interesting. So now if the Blue Bombers can get it done, they'll be the next dynasty if they get a championship this year. But to the comment section, the key.
And Hamilton doesn't have a single one.
I'm sorry, Lane.
1999.
I'm going to bed. I'm kidding.
No chance at taking down the green and white. And she is referring to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers having no chance.
No chance.
The only thing is, for some reason, Winnipeg always seems to have Saskatchewan's number.
Mm-hmm. What I was going to say,
if I was going to make a prediction right now, I think Saskatchewan will win at least one, if not both of those games. But Zach Collaros, it's kind of like, everyone says, why does Nick Arbuckle become Tom Brady against the Blue Bombers? Well, Zach Collaros becomes Peyton Manning against the Rough Riders. Yeah. He always seems to find a way just to get it done. And Saskatchewan has statistically struggled in Winnipeg. Talk about a hostile environment. Like, that is a hostile environment. So Winnipeg, it's going to be a tough road for them to try, because they got to try to steal both of those games to give them a chance to try to get first in the West. I really feel they got to steal both of them. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know who's available exactly, but I don't know who the GM of Winnipeg is on top of my head, but whoever he is, he's a clever human being. He's very good at getting people out of nowhere, right? So they don't really have, because we've been so dominant the past 5 years, they haven't had really high draft picks. I'm not saying they don't have any in talent system, but not as much as some other teams. But I'm sure there was a wide receiver somewhere we can't think of right now that was cut and is still very capable of playing. And I'm sure whoever that is, Winnipeg will sign. Also, Winnipeg is a lot like the Argos, where they have the next up man mentality, right? So it doesn't really remember who's injured and who the backup player is. When the backup player's number is called, they're ready to play. So I'm not concerned about the injuries so much for Winnipeg. I know this game got a little creative because they got ran out wide receivers, but at the end of the day, they still got it done. They doubled Montreal in points. But, I think they will find someone long-term this week. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think we'll find someone.
So I'm going to give you guys a name here. And I don't know what he would do. He hasn't played since last year. What about Greg Algoodson?
Yeah, see, prime example. I can see
Reggie White Jr. is another one that I believe was cut, so he's available.
Yeah.
It's too bad this didn't happen to them a couple weeks ago when Hergy Myalja was recently cut by the Argos. Yes. They could have tried to pick him up, but
look how good Hurstville has been in the Argos the last couple games, right?
And who knows, maybe there's
dominant franchises
in the system that they're really high on.
Right. Good dominant franchises when there are injuries. They find a way to get it done. And I know this game was dicey because it's in the middle of the game. They had to do something.
Mm-hmm.
But for next week comparing, I think we'll find a way. But I do agree with Key's comment. I think Saskatchewan's just too good this year. I don't see.
Well, I'll be honest. We don't know. We're going to see how good Saskatchewan is on Saturday night when they take on Calgary after getting demolished by Calgary. We're going to see how much better they are since that point in the season.
Like I said, I think that game's going to be very chippy. I think that's going to be the best game in the week. I agree with you, Lane. This game was a little bit of a snowfest, literally. But
yeah, Dan literally like saws logs.
Oh, yeah. Like it was like boring.
But my question is more like Winnipeg, I think, will find a way. My bigger question is where does Montreal go?
Cameron Dukes, they found it.
I don't think Jason Moss is going to go to him. I really think Jason Moss is going to stick with Morgan.
So what was the point of getting him then?
Well, yeah, exactly. What's the point of getting him? Yeah, exactly.
You have to have so many quarterbacks in the lineup.
Is it just for a PR stunt? We signed Cameron Dukes to sit on the bench and look pretty and put in our magazines?
He's a nice-looking gentleman.
He is a good-looking dude.
I don't know.
Not William Nylander, good-looking, but good-looking.
Hold on. To the comments. My dad and I call myalgia fibromyalgia.
Okay.
But Montreal was in some trouble. They're 1-6 without Davis Alexander. And I don't mean to keep bringing this up, but can you imagine if they had a quarterback like either a Cody Fajardo or a Nick Arbuckle?
Oh, for sure.
If they had Nick Arbuckle, they would be first in the East right now.
They'd be way up there with the Rough Riders, I think. I think they'll be better in Hamilton.
I don't know if Dan heard my comment earlier, but I even said I wouldn't even be surprised if Trey Ford was there if that would help them.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I just don't get it. Like you're 1-6. You basically threw this game. I don't care what anyone says. You did throw this game. You put in a rookie quarterback against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. What did you expect to happen? I'm sorry.
Like me, a win.
No, I never expected that. And I watched the game, and I was like, this is exactly why you don't do this, because this game is boring, and it was hard to watch. I don't usually sleep in football games, but I found myself, Winnipeg's got the,
in my opinion, I think that the earliest you will see Davis Alexander back is September 13th versus the Rough Riders. That would be depending on when they put him on the 6-game injured list. If they retroactive to right after the Argos at game versus the Argos, that'll be 6 weeks. If not, he might not be back until the 19th against the Argonauts, or potentially the 26th until. Now, luckily, you have a bye. So let's say even if he's back, let's be honest, Montreal will get the doors blown off them against Hamilton without a quarterback. Then they go against the Riders. I think even with Davis Alexander in, there's a good chance they lose that game to the Saskatchewan Riders.
I was going to say a Riders is a tough game to come back as their first game.
Yeah, but Dan, they might not have a choice at that point. They might just have to go to them no matter what. No matter what. Damn.
If Argos can pull, now the Argos, like you said, Jacob, if you're the Argos, you're kind of happy. Like, if you could somehow pull off a win this week.
It is possible.
I know you guys think I'm crazy. But
I don't think you're crazy.
When I wrote Toronto off, I thought Montreal was going to show up.
Yeah, me too.
And now that they haven't, and if Edmonton beats Ottawa, even if they don't, it really would mean if they do, if Edmonton can beat Ottawa. And if Toronto beats
which I think they can.
All of a sudden you're right back in that mix. Now beating BC is going to be a tall task to do, but statistically, Nathan Rourke's been very good against Toronto. But I think, as I've said, the way the math works is you can't keep losing all these close games. Eventually, you're going to find a way to win. It was kind of the opposite way of Hamilton on their 6-game winning streak. They kept winning all these really, really tight games. And you knew eventually it was going to go the other way. And now it has.
Do you think
that you guys did to me about the Jays when I was put off with the Blue Jays? You're like, look, after going on a huge winning streak, eventually you're going to start losing some games. And I think, but you got to feel it the other way around as well. So I think the East is wide open. I think the West, look, I think we know Calgary and Saskatchewan will make it.
Oh, for sure.
Unless VA gets injured again. If he gets injured, I don't know about PJ Walker.
Talk about a terrible quarterback.
But the big question is, who will get third in the West and who will get second and third in the East. Will there be I think there'll be a crossover. So I don't know if Winnipeg I don't know necessarily if you're Winnipeg and you get a crossover and you somehow have to face Toronto, you might be uneasy.
I do have
you've been bad against Toronto of late. You haven't won a playoff game against Toronto in franchise history, or at least since the Mud Bowl. And might have been the Mud Bowl their last win. If you don't know what the Mud Bowl is, look it up. It is one of the funniest football games you will ever see.
That's a legendary CFL story for sure.
And and if you're so I think Winnipeg, they need to desperately try to get to stay where they got to go through the West. Truthfully, I don't think BC minds going through the East or through the West. I think if anything, BC might rather go through the East.
You think traveling might be an issue for that?
No, I'm sure Amar Doman probably owns his own airplane.
Probably. What? I do have a comment to make about the Blue Jays, Phil, quickly. I was listening to my Z1035. By the way, we're not sponsored by Z1035, but we could be. Anyway, and my boy, Tony Monaco, I am not the only one that predicted 98 wins. Tony Monaco on the radio is predicting Jays to hit 100 wins this year. As he pointed out, they've never hit 100 wins. They hit 99 wins, I think, in the 85 season. So he's questioning, can they hit 100? I don't know if they can, but if they do, it's pretty interesting. But I'm not the only one that thinks 98.
Well, I mean, you're listening to a DJ and not a self-proclaimed sports analyst. But, yeah, the Blue Jays have been playing very well. But I just mean that's how I feel about teams like Toronto as well. Like, you know what, eventually things have got to turn, like the Toronto Argos. And, you could say the same thing for Montreal, but until they get an offense that can actually put up points. Look, we all thought MBT was bad, and then we just watched James Morgan, and now you kind of wish they had MBT again.
Oh, for sure. I think this game would have even been different with MBT.
I really like Montreal. They desperately need this bye.
I do. MBT is always good against Winnipeg.
He was injured. They desperately need.
No, but if he wasn't injured, I think he could have been good.
But I think for Montreal, you are so happy that for some reason only having 3 games on Labor Day weekend instead of 4. I don't know why Ottawa and Montreal are not playing each other on Labor Day weekend because it's Sunday, Monday. They could have gone Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That just would have made sense to me. But it is what it is. Or, you know what, go crazy and do like a triple header on Monday. I would love to watch football in the CFL from like noon to midnight. Let's go.
I think the CFL has always missed the boat on scheduling. I'll just say it. I'll say it here. Like they've always.
No, but I don't know about you boys, but I would absolutely love watching CFL from do your pregame at 11 o'clock and go from 11 o'clock to about midnight watching CFL football, eating some greasy food, drinking way too many beverages, and just having a good day.
Oh,
why don't they do that?
I don't know.
Do you know what we need for that triple header, Jacob? Meatballs.
Or you know what, I'm saying this too. Why not combine this year on Labor Day and try to get a big Canadian university game involved? I don't know why the Vanier Cup isn't played in the same stadium as the Grey Cup every year and do it the same weekend.
That would be cool.
Because you know what? Let's say hypothetically I was going to fly to Winnipeg for the Grey Cup. We're way off topic. It doesn't matter. And let's say I was going to fly to Winnipeg for the Grey Cup. I would absolutely love to see a Vanier Cup the exact same weekend. Get the Vanier Cup on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And get the Grey Cup on the Sunday. I think that would be absolutely awesome.
I agree. I think it's a huge marketing opportunity.
Let's quickly get back to the comment section here. I'm sorry your cat has an awful cold key. That is very unfortunate. One thing after another with my... Again, I am sorry. If you guys want another gas or ass, I'll play it back and answer on the replay. I'll go for a double header show on Sunday. So let's do gas or ass. The Canadian Football League needs double headers on Sundays. Gas or ass?
Gas.
Can I go 50-50? And I'm going to tell you why. I would love it before the NFL season starts to not have.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
And do a doubleheader on Sunday. The problem is, look, I would rather watch a CFL game than an NFL game personally. That's my personal preference. And if you don't agree with me, that's more than fine. That's why they have different leagues for different people.
Look up the Mud
Bowl. At the end of the day, the
disagree.
CFL does not want to go up against the NFL for ratings. that's where they're at. But I think if you go before the NFL season starts to do some doubleheaders on Sunday, I'm all for it. I also think the CFL, we're talking scheduling. I didn't like how this year, we have a hell yeah gas. Hell yeah. Right. Damn right.
Yeah, I also
CFL for scheduling kind of screwed up by putting Toronto and Hamilton's home opener on the same day.
Yeah, that was a big mistake.
Because I would say this, I actually wanted to go to both.
Personally. Me too.
I'm like, I love football. Hamilton, the Ticat Stadium's just down the mountain. I can just throw Dan down the mountain and meet him there. And then we're good. We're Gucci. Lane can take a
rec center there.
I can see my house from here.
No, you can't. But
I can see the traffic light in front of my house.
That's great. The lights are not in front of your house. Get over it. But now Keesing agrees with me. Preach. But I just think if the CFL could look at this schedule and try to position themselves for more attendance. I actually liked what they did with like the Stampede Bowl. I think maybe they need to try to line more things up. Take a page out of Amar Doman's book where he put on a huge car show that was a huge success that created more buzz around the BC Lions. And maybe
the CID game's a good idea, but
college football does these random bowls. Like
why didn't the Argos have 2 CNE games?
I don't know why the Argos don't do 2 CNE games. That's a great question.
Why every year that's the highest.
1 year where they did 2 CNE games. Both games had very good attendance, so why not?
And it's loud because you got the carnival in the background.
Oh, it's awesome watching football. You see the cable cars go through the arena.
I know. I just think the CFL's got to do a better job at taking advantage. Another thing that I don't like, for example, I like to travel for different CFL games. Maybe I'm weird. That's fine. But I hate it how 1 week every game's in the West and every game is in the East. Yeah, I'd have loved it last week when Toronto didn't have a home game. I'd have loved it. There was a game out in Ottawa or Montreal where I could have went easily. Right? Where it's tough when like all your games are in the East are in the same week, because then it's difficult to, let's say, go to the game in Montreal, then Ottawa, then Toronto back for an afternoon game. So I think the league's just got to look at the scheduling better to set themselves up for more success.
I agree.
And I mean, there's already been a lot of backlash about some rumors about the, some announcements about the schedule with Toronto and Vancouver.
I was just going to say, man, look at next year.
Now, mind you, it couldn't be helped because, of some certain things that are going on in the world. FIFA is scrambling to figure out how to reschedule some games into Canada.
That's FIFA's problem.
There are certain, at the end of the day, FIFA's paying these stadiums a lot of money.
So, I get that. But I think I agree with moving the games around to accommodate for FIFA 1,000%. I'm just saying there are better solutions than the Argos playing a home game in Winnipeg. That's about what? 15-hour drive? No, longer than that. 25-hour drive? Like, come on.
It's longer.
I'm sorry, CFL, but that is bad. And that's why Americans look at it as a joke. I'm not saying it is a joke, but things like that.
Americans also just, a lot of time, people just don't give the CFL credit in general.
No, but, Lane had his rant at the beginning of the show about the quality of game tonight. You put out bad quality with a bad schedule. I mean, it's not a good recipe.
It's not.
I do just want to remind the viewers.
I was going to say, I didn't swear.
This isn't about swearing.
Oh, guys, like a big long.
That if you want to stream like us, because they not like us, they not like us, they not like us.
Drake's better.
Us. And anyways, you can follow this link that'll take you to StreamYard, and you will get $10 off your first month.
10.
So if you're interested in streaming to try to be as cool as us, you can try. You won't be as dashing as Lane. You might be able to be as dashing as Dan, but not Lane. But there you go. You can go right into the comment section and follow that link. But at the end of the day, you know what? Montreal struggled a lot. Mm-hmm. I am curious. I know I'm the one that always puts up the power rankings. Now I'm going to give you 10 seconds to think about it. If Toronto wins this week, could Montreal fall to the bottom of the power rankings? Still have 7 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't even need the time.
Oh my gosh, only 4, 3,
I don't need it.
2, 1. What do you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you think?
Absolutely.
Yes.
4?
Yes.
I think so too, considering they've only won one of their last 6. They've been playing, and it's not even like they've been losing a bunch of close games. They've been playing that well. So it'll be interesting to see. But at the end of the day, Montreal can still not go any lower than where they are. They are second in the East for a little bit longer. And things will be very interesting. We have still more action-packed football for you throughout the rest of the weekend. We will be doing pre- and post-game shows tomorrow for the game that is on between – I am having a brain fart – between two football
Edmonton and Ottawa, is it?
Edmonton and Ottawa. Thank you.
Oh, I got one. Yay.
Good job. Between the Edmonton Elks and the Ottawa Red Blacks. Big game. I know, Lane, you're not sure if you will be here for – oh, Key is still here. That was – Dan, come on. You don't leave me hanging to be only one of 4 CFL. Hey, there's more than 4 CFL fans left. Tons of CFL fans.
There's 6.
No.
No, I'm not saying there isn't CFL fans. That's not what I was trying to say. I was trying to people that know the CFL love the CFL. For example, I was at the Blue Jay game last week, and I try to talk to the community, the sports community out when I'm out at events, right? I was talking to someone wearing an Argo hat at the Blue Jay game. Like, yeah, go Argos. And we got talking a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a season ticket holder. I do a podcast, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, oh, I went to my first Argo game with my grandpa last year. I never watched the CFL until I went to the game, but now I love it. And that's the thing. Once you get people to the CFL, they love it. But all I'm saying is, if you look at the scoreboard tonight or just read the box score, like the stats, in combination with bad scheduling, you're not giving the opportunity to the league to grow, right? You have to put it to bring fans into the game, get them into it. You need to get more people to their first CFL game. That's it, because once they're there, they're going to get hooked. But you gotta market and target that. So that's why I agree. Why is there not 2 CNE games, right? If you go in the CN game anyway, there's a good chance you're going to go a football game that day, right? That's a huge mistake right there. Why are they shipping a home team game 2,000 kilometers away? That's another gigantic mistake.
So, Dan, I'm curious then about your thought on this. And before you go on, all their different owners, Winnipeg does this. Why don't we do combo ticket deals with an Argo and a Jays game, and you combo the 2 tickets together?
You can't do Argos and Jays, but what you could.
Yes, you can, Dan. Why can't you? Like, they do it. Winnipeg does it with the Jets. They're not owned by the same person, even though you argued with me for a solid hour until I proved it to you. So if
there is a major difference with that.
1:37 and there's an Argo game at 7:00, there is no reason why you can't hit both. So
there is a major difference
for $60 where I can go to both games.
There's a major difference.
Nope.
The owner of the Jets and the Blue Bombers get along. The owner of the Maple Leafs and the Argos probably do not, because Bell owns 51% of MLSE, and the Blue Jays own 100, and the Rogers owns 100% of the Blue Jays. Yeah, so Rogers is constantly trying to buy that 1% of MLSE. They do not like each other.
Terrible reasoning.
No, it's not. You just don't like the fact you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
I agree with you in a perfect world. If you had 2 sports owned by the same team, yes, you should cobble them together. But unfortunately, Toronto doesn't have that.
Okay, so back to Key in the comments. Thank you very much for staying. I do hope your cat feels better.
Yeah.
No cuddles for cats. You stay on the island. You know what? You can cuddle with a cardboard cutout of Lane. His girlfriend might be mad about that, though. And Lane, do you have a cardboard cutout available? You should.
I don't. We should make one for the street.
We should.
Yeah. Over horse.
Half horse, half man. But I don't agree with you whatsoever, because number one,
I don't agree with you whatsoever.
Rogers and Bell already work together because they own MLSC together. So your entire point is completely invalid.
Didn't one of them step out?
We're in talks about, but we haven't.
In talks because the Rogers family is in a bit of an argument, but we're not going to get into that here. But you're also
that actually would have been an interesting topic, Jacob.
This is an interesting topic right now. But this is a way to bring in more Or then fine, go to the Canadian Elite Basketball League and Raptors 905 and say, let's work something out to sell combo tickets.
Do they play in the summer?
Yes, it's literally summer basketball, Dan. It's literally
okay. Well, I didn't know that. So yeah, I think you could
wrecked. So like that's what I mean. Like you look at the Blue Bombers when their ticket sales were struggling. Remember, the Blue Bombers were not the pinnacle of attendance at one point. They found
2018 or so
to bring in more attendance. Where I feel the Argos, they're not looking like Lane, for example. Would you be more apt to go to an Argo game if you could buy a combo ticket for the Argos and the Jays, and it included your Go Train? We'll say
100%.
$70 Argos, Jays, and Go Train. Would you go?
Yeah, might get in
I
trouble.
would too.
I'd probably get kicked out of Hamilton for the rest of my life, but.
And Dan, well, you would go either way. But my point is,
sure
look, Lane is someone who would not normally go to an Argo game. And that sort of marketing can get you there. I have a lot of friends who love baseball. And you know what? If they could make it a full day where they go to the Jays, they go to the Argos, their Go Trains included. Or I've said even do a ticket that includes like, do a ticket where it includes a meal or it includes your parking. Do something. Do more giveaways. There's more ways you can. Whenever there's a giveaway, people love free crap.
Oh, they do.
So whenever there's a giveaway,
because they want to sell on a marketplace.
Either way, they're showing up. So try to do that to get more fans there. You do more events with the players going out into the community. You got to do more engagement.
Yeah, the Argos need more on that.
It's not the whole CFL needs it more, but like you look in Calgary, for example, Vernon Adams Jr. has put in a really good effort to get out in the community.
He does, yeah.
And that is a complete thing that they are doing. But now back to the comment section. Cardboard cutout of Steven Tyler wearing a Streakers hat and a Warren Mood rookie card, and you got yourself a deal.
Wow. That'd be cool.
Wowzers.
Walk this way.
That was terrifying. But I just think the CFL in general needs to pick a page at Amar Doman's book, or even Montreal. Every night, some sort of theme night in Montreal. And look, their attendance has really improved. I think they might need to move to Olympic Stadium once that stadium's done, because they're selling out like every night in Montreal. We're pretty damn close.
Well, that'd be cool.
The attendance tonight was only about 500 seats left. So, and some of that could just be people don't want to sit behind the end zone. Like I personally don't like sitting behind the end zone.
I think what happens is there's only so many seats in the wall, right? And you get like a family of 3 and a family of 6, and you got the one seat in the middle left over, right?
And then you get the Duggars going to the game, and next thing you know, that's an entire section.
Yeah, exactly. Take me out to Duggar.
But I'm just curious to see, like, Ottawa and Montreal both do a lot of theme nights. BC does big fan festivals. They just did a car show. Now, in the defense of Toronto, I will say the location of the stadium sucks when you compare it to Ottawa. Montreal is on the top of Montreal Mountain, so it's gorgeous. Vancouver's in the heart of the city, from what I understand.
It is right downtown.
Saskatchewan and Winnipeg, it doesn't. I think you could put the stadium in the middle of nowhere and just a random field, and it would sell out or pretty close.
Well, even Calgary and Edmonton, the stadiums are not directly downtown, but the stadiums are very close. Like Edmonton, you're a couple subway stops away, right? And Calgary, not the stadium, not the Super Bowl. What do you call that thing? The Stampede. Thank you. The Calgary Stampede.
No one said
Fairgrounds is very right beside Calgary downtown. It's practically across the street, right? So, and what I was going to say, look at Hamilton a couple weeks ago with the Say Alexander night, right? They had a theme and they sold out, So
now, okay. But I would not call that entire day an overall success. I think the Tiger Cats could have done a lot more that day than what they did, besides setting up a few basketball nets and a bouncy castle.
Oh yeah,
like I was truthfully, I
like the ribs.
I was expecting more than what they did. Now, mind you, the free towels were cool. That's in my room. I don't know.
And I see people selling with $20 on Marketplace.
But I gotta say though, Lane, you look very comfy. Like, is that a comfy couch?
It is, yeah.
It is.
Is it the big comfy couch?
It is not.
You don't have dust bunnies lifting underneath it?
Comfy couch. Don't look.
I probably do
on YouTube. But Now, mind you, again, in Toronto, there's nothing around the stadium. But at the same time, the MLSC could certainly afford to slap a few food trucks there, set up some tables in one of the parking lots, and make it more of a vibe with music and fan engagement.
You might not agree,
you go to
Jacob.
Ottawa, I don't know if you guys have been to, for anyone who hasn't been to TD Place, but when you go to TD Place, the whole area is just a vibe. You got restaurants, you got some clubs, you got a movie theater, but like it's like a whole really cool environment.
Now, Mr. Jacob, I want to ask you a question, though. You may not agree, you may not like it, but it is a factor. There's a lot of controversy in Ontario with Ontario Place. For people that don't know Ontario Place is the land across the road from Exhibition Place where the Argos play. Our government is pumping a lot of money into Ontario Place to add different attractions there, like the Science Center, which I think is sort of stayed, but that's another topic. Anyway, my point is, once Ontario Place builds up, could you see the Argos Pack doing smart marketing and packaging more deals with attractions at Ontario Place?
But why are they doing that now? Why can I not buy an Argo ticket?
Because Ontario Place isn't built yet.
That also includes a ticket to the Toronto Zoo.
Well, if we're nowhere near Toronto,
doesn't matter. I can go to the zoo at 9 o'clock. The game's not till 7 o'clock. I leave the zoo at 4. Still have plenty of time to go to the Argo game. But gotta remember, people come to Toronto, they want to go for the day.
Yeah, that's true.
Or make it where, I don't know, Pundo at the Hockey Hall of Fame. Like, maybe I'm just grasping at straws here. But I just think they could be doing more than what they are.
Oh, since the Argos jacked up the prices of tickets, that was another topic. Why are they partnering with like CAA and offer CAA discounts of tickets and that kind of thing?
But I kind of wanted to show for fans who haven't been to Ottawa, for a game, good old Google Street View. So behind me, is the stadium. So this is all the stadium. The South Street Burger's not there anymore. Right? If I forget, I think it's some. I don't mean zoom in on it, but it's not.
It's all boarded up.
But anyways, there's a bunch of restaurants here. Your stadium.
That was a cool building. Whatever that was.
You can walk around the canal. All these streets are actually closed, so this is all a walking path. And then all these patios expand into the road. And then if you come down here too, all this is walking distance. Remember, right?
Oh, shopping.
You got all this shopping. You got tons of great restaurants. You have cool buildings to walk around. You can walk around the canal. You can make it an entire day. Like, for example, we were down there for the day. This was the restaurant we went to over here. It was a great pizzeria. Big shout out to them. They were super nice. Here was a big market that was going on. Like, there is so much more going on than what there is in Toronto. Yeah, it was the Creighton Crest that we went to. But all I'm getting at is, like, there's enough here that you can come down to the stadium area for the entire day. Yeah. So I think that's a big benefit to the Ottawa Red Blacks. I'm going to say this: do the Argos need to potentially look into maybe trying to relocate to a different area where there's more, where it's more buzzing? Or did they just or they're just waiting for the government to do something?
I think you have all that land. You got basically a giant empty parking lot at Exhibition Place. You got all that land. You have the Maurice Arena, the Guico Coliseum. You have the Enerker Center is empty. I think you should use some of those resources right on your property. I do agree. Hockey Hall of Fame is
I disagree. I know people locally who have not been to the Hall of Fame in 10 plus years. So if you make
I've never been.
Thank you, Lane.
Well, we should go.
But Lane, what I'm saying, would you be more up to go if it was a combo ticket with something else involved?
Sure.
Right? Because you're going to Toronto for the day. So you need to make it a trip worth going for the day. Where, Dan, you always say, I just want to go to Toronto and walk around. It's a vibe, blah, blah, blah. So make it a vibe. Make it where there's a restaurant tour and then the Argo game. There's so many things you could be doing in the city of Toronto to team up and find a way to make this, to improve the attendance.
Well, the other thing I just thought of,
cities do it. I want to see Toronto do the same. I don't know how we got into this, but we.
The other thing I just thought of too, if you go across the bridge of the GO train by BMO Field, the other side of the bridge is Liberty Village. That's a huge vibe. Why don't they team up with Liberty Village?
I don't even know what's in Liberty Village. We have to go walk around one day.
Oh, it's kind of like an area there's a residential area, like there's condos and parks. So it's also a lot of like nice restaurants and shops, and I don't know, this because this is a little pocket of Toronto, but I mean, there's probably like art studios or something. It's probably something you could partner up with.
But I think it's time for us to partner up with our pajamas.
Oh, good, poo-poo time.
And Dan's going to partner with the toilet. I'm very glad he told all our viewers that. Everyone on Twitch is now running away. No, I'm kidding. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching the Streakers Island podcast. Remember, we will be back. We'll be back tomorrow on Friday to preview and post game up the Ottawa Edmonton game. So thank you very much for joining. I'm the self-proclaimed sports analyst, joined Mr. More for Your Money and Lane Dashco. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye-bye.